covering Ithaca and all of Tompkins County. Live on ICTV, Newswatch 16 starts right now.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Ovid, where firefighters are responding to 3 buildings engulfed in flames on Main Street. We'll bring you any new details as they come into our newsroom during this broadcast and have updates on Newswatch 16 at 10. Now to our top story. A local landlord was fined nearly $40,000 for illegal renting. Good evening, I'm John Vogan. Just ahead on Newswatch 16, IRS equality. Find out how the city of Ithaca is helping same-sex couples cash in on refunds. The average stopping distance for a car going 20 miles per hour is about 40 feet, which is where I'm standing right now. But for cars going 30 miles per hour, that distance can nearly double to 75 feet. And with kids crossing the street to school every day, those few extra feet can make all the difference. We all know the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but can a cup of coffee a day keep the optometrist away? All right, so that phrase might not stick, but a new study from Cornell says antioxidants in the average cup of joe can help prevent eyesight from getting worse over time. The 2 local branches of Bank of America have now officially switched over to Chemung Canal Trust Company, leaving many old customers wondering where they can now make deposits or withdrawals. If you need to make those transactions, you're not completely out of luck. You'll just have to come here at 409 College Avenue in Collegetown, where the last Bank of America ATM in Ithaca is located.
He's the kind of guy that you were afraid was in your platoon because you were afraid he might accidentally shoot you in the foot.
What is one of the funniest moments that you've had acting?
I loosened my helmet a bit so that when I walked up into the scene, the helmet would flop into my face. Just kind of look dopey.
What's going on in your love life at the moment?
I do have a lady friend in my life.
Of course, being in New York is a homecoming for Jesse, who was born in Manhattan and grew up in the Westchester suburb of Ardsley.
A lot of my friends that I grew up with and went to high school with, a lot of them came to my Jones Beach show. There was 20 of them there, so it was cool. It was a little reunion.
Iceberg, dead ahead, sir!
From the 1957 movie A Night to Remember to director James Cameron's instant blockbuster success 40 years later, its legacy has been forever captured in the world of cinema. 100 years on, the Titanic is a story that continues to captivate. 15 years after its original release, and at a cost of more than $20 million, the world's media is turning out once again, this time to see Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio in 3D. But is all this too much? Critics argue these tributes are really just cases of voyeurism, taking advantage of a horrible tragedy. But those involved with the projects agree it's important to keep the memory alive.
Remembering Titanic, remembering the history, that's what the film was there for. That's why I made it.
Titanic now rests in the darkest depths of the ocean, but researchers and enthusiasts continue to shed light on the remarkable ship that went down in history. John Vogan, CBS News, London. Well, Parents' Weekend just wrapped up at Ithaca College, and if they stayed at a hotel or B&B, they probably paid that 3% room tax. Well, recently there's been some confusion over alternative lodging sites like Airbnb. This week, I took a closer look at the issue.
And so we said, hey, we've got some extra rooms at our house. Why don't we look into it? So we just totally fell into this, and it's just been such a success.
For Lisa and her wife Nicole, renting out their home is a new experience, one that has been rewarding both financially and culturally.
We've been booked pretty consistently, especially in the summertime. People literally coming from all over the world, from Israel, from Iceland. They've heard about Ithaca. They're curious, so when they want to travel, they look into the alternative accommodations.
Theirs is just one of more than 100 properties in Greater Ithaca listed on Airbnb, a website that offers a way for homeowners to share their space with travelers looking for a place to stay. The trend has drawn attention from other players in the local lodging industry, along with Tompkins County government, which collects a room tax for hotels and other accommodations. The William Henry Miller Inn first went into business back in 1999. Airbnb first started in 2008, and currently none of its users are required to pay that occupancy tax. The building behind me has 9 rooms. For properties with more than 10 rooms, that rate goes up to 5%. Lisa and her wife pay the mandated room tax, but many hosts on sites like Airbnb are not aware of the tax or exactly who it applies to.
You definitely run into some gray area in the law, and this is new territory for all of us. We did some initial analysis, and looking like about 85% of folks who are listing through Airbnb are not registered with county finance.
For traditional bed and breakfast owners like Lynette Schofield, they think it's only fair that regular Airbnb users pay the tax too.
And the room taxes do so much for this area as far as beautification and signage and new programs that the tax dollars that our guests pay and that we write a check for make such difference in the community.
In Ithaca, John Vogan, Newswatch 16. Now, the county does have a section on their website explaining the occupancy tax and a form to register property. They are encouraging all people offering lodging to look at that and register if they haven't done so already.
A recent safety campaign at Cornell University is changing the way student pedestrians share the roads with drivers. Newswatch 16's John Vogan has the details.
With over 30,000 pedestrians and 10,000 motorists passing through every day, Cornell is a busy campus.
So normally there are a crowd of people crossing the street, so when everyone moves and then you follow.
The university's police department received a highway safety grant this year, which is funding an enforcement and education campaign for proper pedestrian behavior. Sergeant Anthony Tostanowski, who serves as the traffic safety coordinator at Cornell, has been leading the effort to increase awareness among pedestrians, bicyclists, and skateboarders.
Our number one frustration on campus for our commuters is they can't get around because pedestrians don't follow the rules.
While there have been 37 traffic-related accidents in the last 2 years, no fatalities have occurred in over a decade. Cornell police want to keep it that way, which is why they're handing out educational flyers like these, reminding students to stay safe. Personal injury accidents involving pedestrians and those riding bikes or skateboards increased by nearly 17% so far in 2012. Officials say these walkers and riders are frequently found at fault.
Pedestrians don't always have the right of way, which is a huge misconception. There's a lot of people here that believe because they are a pedestrian and they're on a college campus, they can just walk freely wherever they want without any regard for safety.
This past week, over 90 tickets were issued for jaywalking and other violations. Although some were unhappy with the crackdown, officers believe it will make students think twice before illegally crossing the street. At Cornell University, John Vogan, Newswatch 16. Are you still listening? That's the message Pandora users see after letting their stations play a while. But now you may also see and hear political messages. The Wall Street Journal reports that the online radio site will launch a new advertising service next week based on a user's perceived political ratings. The company will match election results to users' musical tastes by zip code. Then it will label a listener either Democrat or Republican, making it easier for political organizations to target potential supporters. Users will not be able to opt out of the ads if they use the free service, but can with the ad-free service, which costs $3.99 a month. Lady Liberty is back in business. Governor Cuomo came to an agreement with the White House allowing for the reopen of the Statue of Liberty, even amidst the government shutdown. The monument reopened to the public Sunday after the state agreed to support the $370,000 cost of running the landmark. Tickets to visit the statue went back on sale over the weekend, while ferry trips from Battery Park also resumed. National Park Service employees, ferry operators, and park rangers affected by the shutdown have now returned to managing the monument.
And that's all the time we have for sports. Back to you, John Alex.
Okay, Nick, thank you. Well, here's a story for our adrenaline junkies out there. Ernesto Gaines set the Guinness World Record for landing the world's smallest parachute jump.
The parachute measured at 35 square feet, or around 3 meters, while standard parachutes are between 7 and 19 square meters.
And just think, that's about the size of a picnic blanket.
That's crazy.
That's pretty scary. I don't know if I would do that. And nothing really scary around here aside from those thunder showers we saw last night, but no chance of that, just a few sprinkles.
Yeah, no, just a few sprinkles.
I'm Alexander Leslie.
And I'm John Vogan. From all of us here at ICTV, have a great night.